Okay. Finally got a better chair. That's good. Good. Stream health is good. Oopsies. It's gonna sound like there's an old man in the background. Hey, what's up, Sunny D? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're just going to be going over a quick analysis. It's going to be a relatively short stream, but I'm still looking to at least put out something. I'm putting out this stream because obviously my Yu Yu Hakusho video is not completed yet. I mean, after all, making a long video it's challenging because you need to pull up all the scans and you got to translate it all. And when you're working, you only have so much time to do that when you get home. You know what I mean? Plus other projects. But we're still getting it done. But I definitely plan on having a lot of stuff uploaded before my birthday in March. That's good. Excellent. Glad to know that you're doing good. So right now what we're doing is going to be, I'm going to be explaining like a how to debate type of ordeal. Or more so how I debate. It's not the best, but you know. That's good, Jagan King. Thank you for coming to the stream, and I'm glad you agree with that outcome. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and get on with it. And just in general, it's going to be short, and then we could just start having fun. So in general, debate. What is debate? Okay, well, we all know what debate is. I think it's self-explanatory. But since this is not a professional debate, per se, I'm not going to be going all crazy. You know, I'm not a professional myself. I've had experience in the past, but it really comes down to understanding what exactly is you are debating. And that is when it starts to be, you know, interesting. Welcome, Isaac. I'm glad you was able to make it to the stream. All right, let's see here. Universe Naruto meta would probably say otherwise. Yeah, the Naruto meta is, they're getting there. They're getting there. A lot of things are changing in the game, but let's see here. MCU, The Punisher, and Daredevil. That's actually not bad because I've seen the Punisher movie. I haven't seen the Daredevil though in a while, but I do know. Wait, hold on. Let me see something. Nope. Yeah, I didn't see the Daredevil yet. But I did see Ghost Rider. But, you know. It's not bad. Did not see Daredevil, though, sadly. Okay. Talk loud. Yeah, so there are a couple things I want to introduce when it comes to a debate. When I debate for reason. I feel like if you are going to do any debate, the general point of a debate is to get your point across and convince the other party that you are right. However, here's the flaw. The flaw is proving you're right doesn't necessarily mean you're right. Making people believe you are right doesn't even mean you're right. You can have someone who's debating something and they may be right, but they could still have a poor argument for their reason. For example, there could be a guy who's arguing this guy's planet level, and you're like, well, why? Why is he planet level? Because they said this in the comment. That's not a good reason. You need to actually go over a series of reasons to why you believe and why everyone else should believe with you on your argument. Now, when it comes to debating with another individual and debating power scaling debate, that's a different story to a degree, because now you're talking to people about fiction. Fiction is not perfect, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care if it's Blackened Fist, Quaman, Seth, the programmer, Chuck. It could be SJ Real, Just a Robot. It could be me, Toya. It could be anyone in these communities. Laughingstock Media. It could be Dragon Ball Nation. You can name all those guys who do power scaling over and over and over. Death battles themselves. It doesn't matter. most of what we say is not generally objective because most of the feats in Dragon Ball and other shonen are arbitrary because there's never a full out claim to how strong they are, like Marvel and DC. Like DC, a writer from DC will be like, oh yeah, Superman, he's multiversal easy. He could tell you that straight up and you're like, well, I can't argue with the author. But like Toriyama, is Goku universal? He's like, well, I mean, he can be if you want him to. I'm like, come on, what kind of answer is that? So because of these things, that's why we obviously have debate for fictional characters. Let me see here. Yeah, exactly. Very good point, Sunny Day. I agree. What do you think about Mazuku Kai and Seth's debate about Kid Buu versus Buhan? Mazuku for Kid Buu, Seth for Buhan. I only saw part of it. I didn't see that, Aiden. I didn't see it at all. But I'll tell you this. When I debate about something, I always go about it on the logical end, and I always debate on the side that's winning. Sometimes I just debate for synthesis 90% of the time because I'm just trying to debate to see what's the more objective outcome. I stopped debating overall as a result, not because I found it too difficult, but because the community is very toxic. When I talked to someone I used to know by Yamcha at the time, he kind of understood where I was coming from by saying, hey, the debate community, a lot of pioneers are trying to be like Seth the programmer. And the way I see it is like, see, I'm not going to ride on anyone's case or brown nose, but I'm going to say this. Seth is a really good debater. He could be mean, though, but he's a really good debater for the topic at hand. Now, as far as him debating political stuff against actual pros, that's a different story, because I don't know. It's kind of like, if you guys have played Smash Brothers, have you played regular Smash Brothers? And if you've been to a tournament, there's a big difference. Because you play and your friend could be really good, but as soon as you go to a tournament, he's not even making it out of pools. So that's kind of how I see it. I see like as in most of the debaters on here are really good, and they can debate about really good stuff. And you don't have to be a pro to still be at a high skill level. But the way I see Seth the programmer as more so Gordon Ramsay in a sense. He's good at what he does. You know what I mean? But everyone is trying to be like Gordon, where they're like, I'm going to jump in the kitchen and start cussing people out like Gordon Ramsay does. And that's kind of how people are. You're like, I'm going to debate like Seth the program and tell people to shut the F up and they're stupid and all that stuff. And then I'm going to win the debate. Woohoo! And so because everyone's trying to copy one person, they can't develop their own style of debate. And then they end up running into a corner. They end up submitting to ad hominems. They end up looking stupid when they're trying to sound smart. And then they just fail at the end of the day. Yeah. Yep, I can definitely agree with that, Jigan King. Fiction is inconsistent as well. It's hard to debate since not everything's perfect. Exactly. So you got to always keep that in mind. I mean, for example, I can argue this. There's a difference between debating subjectivity and debating an argument. I'm not agreeing that he is, but I can argue Kuwabara's outerversal, because his sword is said to transcend dimensions in the Viz and the Japanese original. It transcends dimensions. What dimensions? How many dimensions? I don't know, just dimensions. So, I mean, I can interpret that as spatial dimensions because he cuts through space. So now I can say, oh, Kuwabara's outerversal. Guess what? He solos your like, come on. Like, get real. Like, you can make the argument, but that doesn't mean it's going to be correct. I don't know. Ben Shapiro is good, but it's hard to say, Jigan, because the thing is, Ben Shapiro himself is kind of utilizes what they call positioning base. Like he has a certain position and he only chooses certain arguments. So maybe if he had time to read and understand what's going on, he could, but he uses a couple tactics like talking really fast and being very confident. And by doing that, he gets a lot of people to side with him. And he doesn't cuss out a lot. So, I don't know. Seth the programmer kind of reminds me of a little bit of Hitchin. Like how Hitchin would kind of just insult your argument so that you feel a little insecure about what you're arguing about. But it depends, because there are times where Seth doesn't even do that and he could still win a debate, period. So, I can't really speak 100% on him because I've only seen a certain amount of debates he's had. But, it depends. As far as Ben Shapiro beating him, I don't know. Sarah Z, actually, there's a YouTube channel. Her name is Sarah Z. She talks about, you could type it in later, guys. It's called Why Debating Sucks. And she's actually a pro. And she could tell you the nuances as to why debate is fine, but why it can also suck at the same time. Because you can have a debate, oh boy, and it can suck. Because depending on what you're debating, you know. I kind of quit fictional debating. People debate to win points instead of finding the truth. I agree. So, Snow Forest. We call this debating for synthesis. And I'll answer you in a moment, Alejandro. So, debating for synthesis is going to be... When you debate for synthesis is when you're trying to figure out how the conclusion is trying to be drawn. You're like, all right. For example, you could debate and say, all right, guys, I'm going to debate you that Yusuke is universal. And I'm like, well, I'll debate you that he's planetary only. We can compensate for what each party brings to the argument, and then we can come to the conclusion from there. That same style is the debate I actually used with Andre Strozier, who was one of my moderators. And that's what we used in order for us to decide. Because he used to believe Broly is stronger than Jiren. I believe Jiren was stronger than Broly. But he brought arguments that I didn't think about. And we did it in a way that was more peaceful than conflicting or contentious. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. But most debates I see on scaling discords is usually bad blood and real aggressive when we're just arguing over freaking anime. Yeah, that happens. Sorry, I got a couple words filtered in in the chat, so I'm trying to be a little family friendly. You know what I'm saying, guys? But at the same time, let me see here. Let's see. I've heard people say Ben Shapiro isn't that good. Creme, that is true. He's I can't judge him myself, but I can say based on an analysis given on him, he's alright. He's good, if depending on what the topic is. And this is when I started to understand the format of debate. If you're telling the truth and you know how to orchestrate your argument, you're pretty much almost unbeatable in most cases. Somebody bringing up a bunch of questions just kind of appeals to ad nauseum to kind of just wear you out, or they can gish gallop you and just try to take you down. A gish gallop is when someone throws out this, and that, or a proof by exhaustion. They bring out all these truths, and then now you got to pretty much, reconfirm with all of that, and then you have to answer it one by one, which that's why it's so exhausting, because you have to prove it all and pretty much answer their stupid questions, which is annoying. That's why I hate debating against people who don't really know much about a certain topic. Because then at that point, it's like, all right, man, we shouldn't even talk about this. Unless you're, but it depends. Oh, the Netflix? Okay. I haven't seen those ones, Jagan King. I'll have to take a look at it. I had my first debate with Toxicus in the Prime Moral being stronger than Jiren in Tournament Power. Thankfully, it went well. That's good. You just finished Flame of Rekka. For anyone who was asking about it on last stream, it's pretty cool. Very similar to Yu Yu Hakusho. I've seen it too, but I haven't watched it in a while, so I'll have to rewatch. Arrow used the Dragon Fist and charging up a Kamehameha is peak debating. Let's see. Goku can be scaled to multiversal DBZ. I banned this word, but I will show it for now. But I banned that word. But I am gonna admit it's still hilarious though. Goku can scale DC, Marvel, Sonic, etc. fanboys. Not good. He's like, nah, bro. Goku is only universal. I am with you 100% on that. In fact, let me show you guys a screen capture. We're actually going to, now that I pretty much expressed how to debate, I'm going to give some live examples of me just debating right now, and I'm going to give you an analysis. So let's go to, I was looking up Ghost Rider and make sure I've seen it. Let's go to Comic Vine, all right? So let me show you guys actually a part of what I was saying in this Comic Vine thread. So I was talking about, I'm going to just skim through this. I said, just skimming through, I'm glad to know some people are questioning the credibility of Dai's Ire. Heck, even Yumi Neko, but that's off topic. Terms such as dimension has different meanings depending on the context. Marvel clarifies this term when Beyonder suppressed himself along with the lore to back it up. Even when the Incredible Hulk without Banner, holding him back, fought the Ironclad. We know the term infinite dimensions and crossroads refer to probability planes, parallel universes, and not an infinite hierarchy. So DBZ has the Daizenshu and a completely different cosmology set up to express high magnitudes of spatial infinities. But even so, you cannot assert a positive without evidence. So this is the key. You can't assert a positive without evidence. So what I mean is this. You can't assume that Saitama is limitless or can do anything he wants without evidence. Sure, he hasn't shown his limit, but until his limit is shown, we take his highest feat and conclude that as his highest end. You can put a few assumptions here, like I think Saitama was 10 times stronger than Boros. Sure, then we can place him 10 times planetary. I think he was 100 times stronger than Boros, because even though the Japanese manga said he took damage. People will say, oh, that was a typo. No, that was Viz manga removing the Japanese characters. But in the original Japanese manga released in Japan, it said he took damage. So just because Viz edited out didn't mean they retconned anything. But anyway, thus the negative, even in One's comic it says Saitama is clobbered. So anyway, thus the negative will be asserted. So without scans or evidence to support the context, it can be dismissed. I just talked to SSJ Ryu about this, and he was agreeing with me. The whole point is you can't say, they're out-versal. Well, all right, do they have infinite dimensions? Has they transcend that? Will they transcend... The Taigaku transcends concepts. Okay, concepts to what? Because that don't mean anything. Shulk from... Spoiler alert. Shulk from Xenoblade transcended his concepts of his multiverse. That doesn't mean he could fight Lucifer Morningstar. Yeah, come on. You think Shulk can take on the pre-retcon Beyonder because he transcended multiverse concepts? So again, unless you prove how big the verse is, you can't use this. This is why homie back in the day, Mysterious Universe, used to trash a lot of Daizire people because they would say, oh, they transcend dimensions. What dimensions? How many? To what degree? You can't just take those terms that are so vague and use them. But anyway, I'll pretty much skim through this. I put the Japanese scan of what one of the writers put. And this is just so people, and I even put another one to kind of give a rough English translation. And it talks about, the infinite parallel universes. And then there's another scan that talks about infinite parallel universes, where you see the term Mugen here. So I try to bring this up. Then here comes this homeboy. Holy crap, you're a cringe with your pseudo-Japanese. He misused the term pseudo because he's saying it's not authentic, because I'm pretty sure this is Japanese. It's actually what the scan says verbatim. Stop using machine translations. Even though I talked to a Japanese native for confirmation. It's so cringe. Stop using versus Battle Wiki fanfics. So anyway, we're going to analyze exactly what this guy got to say. But yeah, we'll do that in just a bit. But first, let me just go back to expression to you guys exactly what's going on. Let me read that. All right. We do got to do a martial arts stream. I can do a martial arts analysis. Actually, I can probably do that later on, once I can find a way for YouTube not to shut me down for viewing videos. I would say Goku is at least low multi. So Goku only destroyed planets with shockwaves. It was the waves, not Goku and Beerus. Yep, I definitely hear that all the time. Toribot. Bleach Hub said that Yuha can solo all of DBZ. But do you think he can beat Vegito and Kid Buu? To be honest with you, that comes into question about what can Yuha do. So whatever Yuha can do, that's what my question is. Cooler movie, The Spirit Gun or Dragon of the Darkness Flame. Bleach has universal scaling. It can, but universal scaling for Bleach, it depends. I have to see more evidence for it, depending on what's being talked about. I do know the Soul King would collapse the universe, so it depends on how you view it. It's why universe meta is so yeah, you could show that. It's so booty because people say parallel universe even though the Japanese doesn't say universe and assume it's the same size as ours. Yeah, pretty much. Here's a dimension example. In Flame of Rekka, there was dimensions inside of an orb. It's smaller than my hand, but when you are inside dimension, it's a massive void with a magician in it. True. Good point. A friend of mine said this statement of Whis when talking about top speed in earlier episodes is translated wrong, but instead he says he is restricted to that speed. Kinda? There's an episode where Beerus smelt that food and he caused Whis to go really, really fast, and Whis made it to Earth in 1 second instead of 24 hours. 23 minutes, or 20 plus or 10 minutes, however far. So yeah, Whis Whis can hit speed. I know there's people who say that Dragon Ball Universe can't be infinite because Whis' speed isn't infinite because it still takes him time. Because he got to the afterlife without teleportation. But that's easy to explain. And I'll explain it right here. You guys remember this feat? Let me see here. I'll show you. I'll just put it right here. This is a perfect example of infinite speed being over time. So as you can see on your screen right here, this is a scan where Superman burst the very bonds of infinity. But keep in mind, it took Superman time to hit that level of infinite speed. It's not an outlier, not at all. Superman is really fast. He could definitely hit infinite speed easy, but it just takes him a bit of time. So this point of this scan is kind of what Whis does. Whis is traveling this obvious macrocosm that's infinite, but over time, it may be explained that over time he may just get faster. Because he might have to deaccelerate when he gets to the planet or accelerate accordingly. Because you don't really know if Whis is just building up speed over time. Because again, angels can't really use their angelic power. Whis is always restricted. So he's just kind of going at a very low ball speed that he's just holding back. I mean, keep in mind, the same Whis is like using his fingers to block Moro, but versus Goku, he's using entire limbs. But yeah. But when the magician is inside of the orb, his opponent is outside of it. His opponent can crack the orb and make a hole in that dimension. So yeah. Good point. Good point. Rune King Thor. I don't know how strong Rune King Thor is. I haven't actually looked closely into what he can do, so I apologize. We said it takes him 24 minutes to travel to Earth. Yep, 24 minutes. The time of your average anime, he was saying, if you watch the opening and ending. Infinite speed is just traveling infinite distance in finite time. Yeah. Yep. Inaccessible speed is moving in zero time. Yep, good point. That was beautifully broken down. Yep. Infinite speed doesn't equal inaccessible. Good. Yep. Oh, this let's see. Oh, this Superman thing. Haha. Yep. What's your thoughts on Beerus and his fight against Vegeta? I don't like it. I like how Beerus slapped Vegeta, which kind of confirms a couple things. It confirms that Beerus is a forever moving goalpost, so that confirms that Broly is nowhere near Beerus's power, and Beerus is just a big fat cat who holds himself back all the time. Goku probably saw, and remember, when I know Revolution brought up, he said Goku did see Beerus's full power in the exhibition, but we gotta remember, Goku couldn't even tell what was going on. The gods were moving too fast, so Goku didn't even know what the heck was going on, and he got paralyzed just as a result. So Goku couldn't even keep up with the fight. He didn't even know how fast everyone was really moving or how strong everyone was. And most people were holding back until like the end of it. That's why like Liquor, for example, was holding back until Belmod put him in that shell, that barrier, and he just destroyed the barrier and overpowered Belmod. And then obviously he got caught off guard by Hellas. So Goku really doesn't even understand how strong Beerus really is. I think Goku's just saying you might be stronger than Beerus. That's just a line they're trying to do to tease the fans. That's all. But Saitama and Giorno are the two most linked characters in the anime community. Yeah, Golden Age, Golden Age. What the hell's wrong? The Golden Experience Requiem is really strong. But I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what it really does. But I agree with the whole Saitama premise. Yeah, I remember when they used to say that back in the day. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a bird, it's a plane. Well, I don't think planes or birds move that dang fast. Oh, well, it has to be Superman then. Yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's it. I got about like 30 minutes left, 35 minutes. So I'm gonna finish up this analysis real quick. Let me go ahead and open the scan back up. Let me see here. All right, so just to kind of give you guys a take on what's going on, pretty much it's just kind of like an annoying part of just debating. This is a good analysis. The analysis, interesting. And I put here, I just pretty much responded because at this point, this is what happens when you do a certain debate. You got to know who to debate and when not to debate. So, for example, I'm just going to copy my answer from a previous debate and everything. So he pretty much gives the links or time links, but he doesn't give any translation. Now, don't get me wrong. I do know Japanese, but I'm not fluent. And so upon me hearing it, I have to rewind it multiple times just to understand. So right here, he's giving me links, but it's like, all right, bro, like, calm down. Now, although right here, these give you translations, these are the subtitles, nothing here really tells me much besides, what the throne is. Yeah, you have the throne, you have the Taigyoku, cool. But surpassing concepts in the infinite multiverse doesn't tell me anything. That just proves that they're probably low complex multiverse tier at best. That doesn't tell me much. Does more Taigyokus allow you to transcend higher? No, because even characters in the series with lower Taigyokus can beat others with highers. So that still doesn't even apply. So no, once you hit the Taigyoku, sure, you probably transcend infinitely above the general multiverse. But again, I'm still not even finding the context, because when I seen Ren Fuji and his fight with what was it? It was Ren versus Reinhardt. Ren and Reinhardt really were just destroying the universe and recreating it like multiple times over, in a sense, from what I was able to pick up from the scan. Now, unless they're saying universe in that context means multiverse, you have to prove that. Because in Dragon Ball, when we say Universe 7, we mean a macrocosm. Dragon Ball, we can prove that because we know how the macrocosm works. In Dai's Irde, you need to make a respect thread, you need to make a forum to help express that. It's the same way when I looked at Yumi Neko. When I was looking at Yumi Neko and they was explaining, how big the Yumi Neko multiverse is, it's like, all right, they give all those examples, but they don't tell you anything else besides just those examples. But that's exactly what we were talking about, SJ, Ryu, and I. We were saying, like, you can't just do that. And look at this guy, DB and Zelda Multiversal and fanfics, perhaps. He completely missed the context. Then somebody tries to use the laser feet. Very terrible debate. Terrible skills. But yeah, let me just check. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Naruto does suck without Kurama. He kind of does, as far as, like, planet level type stuff. And Yusuke and Hiei low ball is at least small planet. No. I think Yusuke and Hiei low bar solid planet level. I think they're still solid planet level. Because Genkai already... A lot of people who don't know what Genkai said, okay. Because I actually have the original translation. If you guys are curious about it. But, yeah. Genkai confirms without a shadow of a doubt that Yusuke is indeed planet level. There are people who have different opinions about it, but I know what the scan says. The Japanese scan, she says exactly as you would think. I'll read it to you if you want. Let me pull it up because I have the Romanji to help me not stumble on my words. Yep, and I'll actually, I might as well just put the full scan here. I mean, because at the end of the day, Here we go. So there's the scan right there. So for people who are confused, the Japanese kind of considers it a little different, but at least for the most part, I can try to express it to you. It's not pseudo-Japanese because I had a professional translate it. But it pretty much, the term is, I do remember in the Japanese she does say karin omai, or karin ome, which just refers to, like, to dislike. And she just pretty much talks about this world. And we know she talked about the world because she used the term konoyo, which konoyo is used when they describe other world, because other world means konoyo, which means this world. So she pretty much says, literally, even if you dislike everything in this world and try to destroy it, I don't have the power to stop you. And then there's in the English original, she said, like, even if you hated this world and decided to just destroy it, I can't stop you from doing that. So it's very clear what she's trying to say. But I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. Everyone knows that, though. Come on, who doesn't know that at this point? Straightforward. How strong do you think base Naruto is now that he doesn't have Kurama? I still think he's moon level plus. I still think he's moon level low planetary. I still think Naruto's very strong. I still think he can do planetary damage even without Kurama, because he still had an abnormal amount of chakra because of his Uzumaki origin, from what I know. Yeah, Toriyama and Toyotarou do need to open up. I mean, they had Beerus destroy a planet in the comic. Spoiler alert. I said that late. But Beerus destroys a planet, and then everyone's like, oh, he destroyed a planet. Oh, it's like, oh, okay. And your point? So, what does that mean? Like, what that doesn't tell me anything. Jagan King, there's actually don't forget Koenma. Don't forget Koenma. But yeah, pretty much. So let's see. Thanks, Winged Dragon of Ra. Made it to my stream at the last. Who would win between the Dragon Ball Super Grand Prix versus the Darkest Night in DC? Well, that depends on how strong the Darkest Night is. So, let me see here. So, let's see. The Darkest Night on DC. I'm trying to look at scans to understand how strong he would be. Yeah, I wish Toriyama just gave a bit more specific context about how strong the Dragon Ball characters are, as there is no need to keep it simple at this point. Cell can destroy the solar system. Toyotarou needs to make a Demon Realm arc. He does. Hey, we've already got that. It's called Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Online and Dragon Ball Super Heroes. Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Heroes is filled with badass designs, concepts, and potential, but Super has mediocre to okayish designs and concepts. Super is okay. I like Super a lot. I think it's very good how Super is being portrayed right now. I just wish they had a little bit more exploration. What I would like is I would like characters like Whis to like be more talkative. Like if Whis, for example, was expressed like destroying the afterlife is something that he plans on doing, which can cause the entire collapse of the rest of this universe. And they could say, what? Say, although this is called Universe 7, it actually acts like a lower... like, if we were to say something like, oh, instead of although we call it Universe 7, it is actually more of a multiverse with numerous timelines and dimensions interwoven within it that are like a nexus to the entire multiverse. If you use terms like that, and it is like the afterlife, for example, is a higher dimension that transcends the dimensions below it that are invisible to the human world. The exact same statement used in Daisenshu 4, if Whis repeated that in the comic, we'd be all set. Because then it would confirm that destroying Universe 7 is a multiverse feat. Which it is. It is a multiverse feat. But not many people understand that because they don't understand what Daisenshu 4 said. That's a 1995 source that's people are forgotten about now. Toriyama doesn't feel the need to rewrite it again because he's like, you should buy my stuff if you want. Buy my book. Buy it. I'm tired. I'm retired from debating fiction cross versus battles. It's toxic. Yeah, it pretty much is. Debating fiction for fun is fine, but like that's why I always consider the other factors. I only heard people say that Dragon Ball Heroes is only 4D. Yeah, anyone who told you it's 4D is probably has a 4D mind themselves, or like a part of me. That's a compliment. I should say they probably overthink everything. Dragon Ball Heroes is not only fourth dimensional. Super's current direction is good with the Moro and Granola story, but the designs are meh. It would be cool if we had more context in Angels and God fleshing out the verse. I agree. I think the next arc that should come after Granola is the resurrection of the other 6 universes destroyed, and then we should have an Anubis god, who is Beerus's arch rival that Beerus forgot about since it's been a long time and he's been erased. But the Anubis, god of destruction, was the strongest, and he always used to beat Beerus no matter what. Because he's a dog, and Anubis is a dog. That would have been so cool. And then they could have just had his plan to exact revenge on Zeno. And he could express, it's not going to be easy. The Omni King is very powerful, and so is the Grand Minister. But what I'll do is gather the Super Dragon Balls and create our own multiverse. That way they won't, And he could, make a realm, and he could say, this realm is sealed off from all existence. So that way the Grand Priest can't pick up on our conversation. That would be so cool. We would have a God of Destruction revenge arc. Shoot, you'd have it'd be like the Arankar arc, except it'd be gods of destruction that Goku now has to fight in. It'd be the first time we can actually get Beerus to have to help them out and actually join the battle. That would be sick. But right now it's like, so I don't know. Well, yeah, the Namekians coming from a different plane makes sense. It makes sense why they're in Universe 6 and such. Watching old anime like Orphan, Flame of Recca recently, the arguments about bad animation here and there are stupid. It's always been that way. Some horrible, some great. It depends on the animation team, You've read the new Boruto chapters where chakra travels across the universe in seconds, and the potential for a god who has power of all planets in the universe. Heck no, but if that's the case, Naruto gonna be a beast. Let's go. I'm actually glad for Naruto buffs. Piccolo getting buffed when? Thank you for answering the question. By the way, I know this isn't an easy question. Also, people forgot about destruction power over time, meaning the sun's energy on Earth's surface in 1 second has more energy than us. Yeah, pardon me. Erased universe is a concept waiting to be fleshed out. Would be cool if you do a power level video of Yu Yu Hakusho comparing to Dragon Ball. I think many know about the separate realms, but few accept that they are time spaces. That is true. Few accept that, and nobody is willing to understand that. It's literally stated to be different dimensions. It's very clear, cut, and dry what they're trying to tell us. It's that easy. I don't know why people are having a hard time to pick up that concept. But here comes Daizire with arbitrary statements about dimensions and Taigyokus, which doesn't add up to anything. None of this it still doesn't do anything. And you got this guy, nobody uses words like outer verse on buzzwords like dimension. When it comes to people like that, that's when the debate can get confusing, so I usually leave those debates. He probably said something now. Let's go ahead and refresh. Yep, he said something already. Oh, well, I guess he didn't. Or did he? It is said numerous times to be a form Goku could never reach. This blah blah blah. This is because the game blah 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 blah. Okay, what is he trying to say? And blah blah blah. Let's see here. What is he trying to say? So we're saying God is stronger. Yep. All right. I think you meant relative. If you meant just relativistic in speed, I would seriously worry. OT. His feet are bad. No. I meant I guess I did put relativistic. Yep. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, back to the match. Okay, people are too ignorant to be honest. Yep, that is true. Very true. A solar flare in the sun upper limit. Now imagine that sunlight in a day or a year's lifetime. Now imagine how long that solar Kamehameha from Cell lasts in real time. True. What are your thoughts on Universe Meta Naruto? Don't know about it enough yet. I think it's really cool though if it's getting to that point, because it's about time Naruto gets the respect they deserve. A lot of people are thinking that Naruto is very, very weak. And I don't think it is. I mean, although to the degree, Naruto isn't really weak. But, the problem is this. Stop comparing everything to Dragon Ball. I think I've seen that before on the last stream when I was talking about the Versus Battle Wiki. Everyone on the Versus Battle Wiki page, which is like a bootleg Google Plus. Every single topic. Ramiro Tempest versus Dragon Ball verse. Ramiro Tempest versus Dragon Ball Heroes. Blah 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 blah. And that's pretty much it. Goku this, Goku that, Goku versus this, Goku versus him, her, blah 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 blah. Everyone, hop off of Goku's case. Xeno Goku will solo every single let me stop. Don't I'm not supposed to say how strong Xenogoku is, but if I did, man, I will tell you this. Xenogoku will slap 99.9% of the other fictions, including most of SCP included. Goku doesn't care. Xenogoku's broken. Oh, man. I mean, obviously he has stamina issues, as every character has stamina, but like in comparison to how much stamina he has to exert, that doesn't matter. I mean, it took Super Saiyan 3 1 minute to almost fully power up. And in the Tournament of Power, it took Goku 5 minutes to surpass his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken self. So, I mean, if you really want to go there with, like, recovery, it's like Yusuke. When Yusuke fought Sensui, he recovered in, like, 30 seconds. And Sensui's like, you have an impressive recovery time. Guess Genkai's training paid off. And Yusuke came back stronger and embodied that other version of Sensui. He covered all his bullet holes, healed all of them, and it just slapped Sensui with no difficulty and forced out Shinobu, who had to use the sacred energy. So don't give me that whole, well, but I'm going all over the place, guys. I apologize. Oh yeah, Xenogoku definitely deserves a video. Xenogoku SJ2 solos almost all except Lucifer Morningstar. Might need Fusion or Kamel for that one, or SJ4 Broly if he's stronger than Kamel. Atari about to see Xenogoku's out of Earth. Xenogoku is a whole different beast. Like my good, yeah. Xenogoku. See, here's the thing that. See, I'm about to change the topic, bro. We about to talk up. See, I'm about to edit the video time and put Xenogoku added, bro. Xenogoku, don't get me started on him, because he is completely underestimated by most of the community. I hate how much people sleep on Xenogoku. I'm gonna just paint this picture. You got a universe, then you got the Seguro realm. You got the afterlife, which I already translated to you. I translated it to you. Look, you know what? I'm just gonna pull up. I'm so glad she helped me translate this. I'm just gonna pull this up, bro. Hold up. Let me pull up a couple scans. Number 1. The human world is temporal. How many people in the chat know what temporal means? And when Goku says things like, you know, in this world where time exists, it uses too much energy and you get completely exhausted all at once. Let me see this. That's why he's like, it's that Super Saiyan 3 thing from before. It's a technique you should only use in the afterlife. Like, yeah, thanks, Goku, I appreciate it. Son Goku can in fact never go back to the temporal world again. So, what's the temporal world, huh? What is the temporal world? What's the temporal world? I wonder. Could somebody help me out? Let's look at somebody who speaks fluent Japanese translate exactly what I was reading. The supernatural worlds ruled by the gods. Above the skies, which is higher than heaven, is another translation. Above the skies, the kingdom of heaven transcends dimensions that cannot be seen from the human world. The gods are looking down on the whole world from here. Okie dokie. Mario says that should mean that the free. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to lose it. Oh man, I'm about to use this. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Can he beat Beyonders or Celestials from Marvel or Tribunal? All right, I'll have to answer that separately. Hold on. Xenogoku's speed gets slept on. Oh yeah. But let me pull that scan up. Where is it? Hold on. I gotta find it. Yeah, Dragon Ball. Let's go to the Dragon Ball page. Let's pull this up. I know this wasn't even supposed to be a Dragon Ball stream, but let me get him. I mean, I have the translation for when Dende talks about the room of spirit and time and everything, so there's that. I literally have all the translations for what I need. The room of spirit and time is a time chamber. They're separate rooms of spirit and time, blah, 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 blah. Toriyama himself. Let's bring up Toriyama. What did Toriyama-sensei, what did you say? Oh, okay. The central big ball has the worlds. Worlds. With an S. Called the living world and afterlife. And the Kashin oversee all of that from the outside. As as their antithesis, as the bottom of the big ball, is the Kaioshin, whose governor is evil. Currently, it seems the Kaioshin's power is superior. So, yeah. Anyway. Now that I've brought up this, you guys all know this infamous scan. I had to bring it up again. But this scan literally says that it transcends dimensions that are invisible to the world below. So that should already pretty much tell you everything you need to know there. It's clear, cut, and dry. I don't get it. It's telling you. So if the afterlife is that big, and then you have the Seguro realm, which comes from GT, or pardon me, as the announcer would say, Dragon Ball GT. Anyway, you have the GT, you have all this crap, and then you got Demigraws like, oh yeah, hold up. Then you got all this exist in the neutral zone, and we all know the neutral zone, how big it is, right? Does everyone know how big the neutral zone is? Let's look at it again. The neutral zone that exists outside the universe, which has all the 7 universes' existences. Look at these. You got these universe-sized stars in the background, some that can even dwarf the macroverse, or some that are the same size, because we're outside the universe. So these have to be universes in order for their light to be that big. So you got this infinite size, or at least what appears to be infinite size, 6-dimensional realm that contains these small subsets of macroverses that have a higher plane of existence that is non-temporal, because, as I've already expressed, it's 5D. And then you have the timeline, which is 7th-dimensional at least, since it is infinitely larger than the neutral space. Guess what? Imagine if there's infinite timelines and Demigra is just like, I'm just going to solo wipe all of them out easy. When you have, and then you have Goku going Super Saiyan 4 in the manga. Goku was going to go Super Saiyan 4 in the manga, and he was going to destroy the entire, existence of all time. Or he at least caused a quake to go throughout all history. So you're telling me Goku's sending a quake that's going out through, infinite 7th-dimensional worlds or timelines. And you're going to try to tell me, well, Goku's not that strong. He's like 4D at best, brother. Get out of here. Ugh. Especially people who don't dimensional tier. I don't want to hear anything from them. Anyway, let me read the chat again, guys. Sorry, I went on a little Atari rant. Imagine Xeno Goku versus Xeno Grand Priest. I mean, Xeno Zeno versus Xeno Grand Priest. Yeah. Xeno Grand Priest is ridiculous. Mrs. Zami, BlazBlue is crazy. I know what you mean. Haku men survived their World of War, things like the Boundary. Yup. But Amari, Sonic Soul's Dragon Ball franchise, though. Yup. You know what I realized from Geekdom's recent video with Chuck? That Iron Man collapsed current DBS Goku with his God Killer armor. Plus, he has an IQ higher than anyone in fiction. Exaggeration, obviously. I didn't see that video, but it's like I said. Although Chuck thinks that Hulk is better than Broly, I disagree with him. I think Hulk can't be killed from Broly because Hulk has an outerversal avatar. But I do think Hulk, even without Banner, his best feat I've seen was rupturing infinite worlds and crossroads, right? I think Broly can deal with him. I think Broly would outpower him and beat him in that sense. Broly is on a level where it transcends Infinite Zamasu. He's above the previous Goku who surpassed Infinite Zamasu with Kaioken times 20. So you have to how strong is, and then you have base Goku who's ridiculous. So you got to factor all those in. I mean, it doesn't even seem right, but Ribrianne, that freaking fat Teletubby known as Ribrianne. Oh man, Ribrianne forced Vegeta into Super Saiyan to where Vegeta had to say, "Oh, I guess that Super Saiyan form was for no reason." Ribrianne, in her base form, also was able to bind Android 18. So I mean, base form Ribrianne is already pretty freaking powerful. I actually I made an entire thread about that, about Ribrianne's power. Let me pull that up. Hold up. Yeah, how strong is Brienne de Chateau? Here's the thing. Here's Vegeta. Here's the scan. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get to your chat in a minute. Let me hear what the chat says real quick. Hold up. He fought Solaris, who was starting to mess up timelines. Exactly. Game Sonic is pretty strong. I think he shouldn't be slept on, though. Definitely not. Yep, but I'm rusty on the lore. I have a lot of videos with the arcade story modes, too. Very nice. Game Sonic is only 5D. I would say Game Sonic might be able to go past that. He might be. Depends. Yep. Thoughts on Yusuke versus Hiei fight in the chapter Black? I think Yusuke is still stronger than Hiei. But Hiei had to, like, obviously bring him back up to par. Because he was like, dang, Yusuke, you were rusty, you know. According to it, they fought for, like, 20 minutes, 24 minutes, according to Botan. Or 30 minutes. So I forgot. They fought for a good while in the manga. Yep. He fought with Super Saiyan God. Yep, exactly. Been a while since 24 and still enjoy it to this day. The lore can be complicated, but it's practically my main investment today along with Yu Yu Hakusho, surprisingly. Oh, yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about Ribrianne real quick. Hold on. I still think Broly would beat those versions. Because Broly is essentially beyond Zamasu, who was an avatar that transcended the macroverse and the afterlife, which is obviously infinitely larger than the lower fourth dimensional macroverse. So you're talking about like Broly, and if you want to say Zamasu, if you want to say the timeline exists as a seventh dimensional construct, that means the pseudo space between worlds, which I have an image to show you what I'm talking about, would be like Zamasu crossing like eighth dimensional planes to get to another seventh dimensional construct or existence, lowering himself down into the later macroverse of Dragon Ball. So it depends solely on where you believe Zamasu stands. Do you believe Zamasu only transcended the macroverse, or do you believe he transcended the timeline? So depending on if you believe he transcended the timeline or macroverse, that is going to be where you scale him. I wouldn't say Jiren collapsed Broly only because Broly forced Goku and Vegeta into going Super Saiyan perfected blue Gogeta. So, I mean, and given Vegeta, Gogeta's aura was like, looked like blue evolution almost. It likely would be a perfected Super Saiyan blue in the manga. Yet Broly was able to still fight that. Jiren in the manga got nerfed really badly. Now, if you're talking anime Jiren, then, you know, I might have to agree with you. Anime Jiren is on a whole nother story. His Limit Breaker form, I would say, is equal with Broly, actually, in my opinion. But I don't know, actually, for sure. Let's see here. So, Ribrianne, he says, don't tell me this is your full power after making us wait. They look bizarre, but they've shaken up the tournament. Universe 2 was hiding their a real nuisance of a power. So, Ribrianne is pretty much already Vegeta's like, alright, is that all you got, pretty much? Yeah. Vegeta's like, oh, yeah, is that it? Then the girls are like, oh, nah, that was just a greeting. That was just our introduction. That was just us walking into the arena. To where they almost literally phased out Topo. And you guys know how strong Topo is. Even Dispo had to, like... So, basically, you're dealing with girls who are, like, pretty much... If Boa Hancock from One Piece was... like a ridiculously strong character, that's pretty much how their power would work. Almost. Except minus the turning into stone. Oh, and then you have the best part. You have this part. Where Ribrianne and mastered full power Super Saiyan Vegeta were actually scrapping with each other. If I recall, Vegeta here says, I see, that transformation wasn't for show after all. So Vegeta was impressed. So it's not even an outlier. Because the same guy who Piccolo was fighting, Ribrianne one-shot at him just by accident. And then you have Android 17 who's like, dang, I had to hold myself back, so now I gotta get serious. So when 17 is like, Android 17's like, alright, let me get serious. And then here comes Goku who's like, wow, you didn't use an attack like that when we fought on the island. So 17 used So 17 used a lot of his power. I'm not saying they're blue tier fighters, but it's very clear that he definitely was going pretty strong. And Ribrianne already confirmed that as long as her love is powerful, she can obviously like do pretty dang well. She broke 17's barrier, literally. And if you guys have read the Daizenshu, in order to use a barrier, the user must admit ki at least twice of that of their opponent. So that means so although Rosie's attacks against 17's barrier wasn't doing anything, but Ribrianne breaks it with just a physical kick. So it's very clear that Ribrianne's like at least twice as strong as Rosie is, or at least 4 times as strong. And then you have the last part I want to bring up is like, yeah, Goku's attacks don't phase Ribrianne at all. And then Goku actually had to go Super Saiyan Blue because he found her annoying and kicked her out the damn tournament pretty much. And at that point, Ribrianne was pretty much losing faith, and they had to pretty much talk her out of it. So why am I bringing this up? Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because that means because of Super Saiyan God Essence Goku having to at least use Super Saiyan against Ribrianne, Ribrianne is already Ribrianne is low complex multiversal, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. Or at least multiverse plus level. That pisses people off. So imagine telling someone this fat Teletubby known as Ribrianne will solo most of your verse. That's hilarious. Let me read the chat again. Okay. But Amari Dragon Ball characters is only 4D and Beat is Descendant and Goku, so the real world isn't 60. Oh yeah, that part. The webcam parrot. Yeah. By the way, what was your answer for Dragon Ball Grand Reynolds versus Dark Knight? Sorry, I had to plug in headphones. So, Winged Dragons of Ra, to answer your question now, I don't really know. It depends on how strong the Darkest Knight is. If you're saying, like, some sources try to claim he's out-of-versal, other sources claim he's as strong as, which is, what the heck was her name? Perpetua? If he's only limited to Perpetua's power, I could say you can argue the Grand Minister could win. But that's only in a weaker version. If there's another version of the Darkest Knight who's stronger, then I would say the Priest wouldn't win. You would need Dragon Ball Heroes Grand Priest. So can you explain what the fifth dimension is, please? People debate with saying I'm wrong when I say the fifth dimension is basically traveling through space and time, like a time patroller. Fifth dimension is a spatial dimension above 4D. Thanks, Sunny D. You pretty much expressed it. And I can see people trying to scale 17 to GT17, acting like GT17 would be even more powerful. That's not how any of this works. So that kick is Multiversal Plus confirmed. Haha, the kick of Ribrianne, I mean, you could say so. I mean, Goku wouldn't go Super Saiyan Blue unless he thought he needed to. Because here's the people like, oh, he used Super Saiyan Blue versus Krillin. He literally said, I'm doing this so you at least know how strong opponents are going to be in the Tournament of Power. So Goku's trying to give him an example. But in the actual Tournament of Power, Goku actually had to like go Super Saiyan because he was annoyed by Ribrianne. So he went blue and kicked her, hoping to knock her out. Ribrianne wakes up next to Jiren, and she's like, and she panics. But either way, even without that, you got to remember that she fought Super Saiyan Vegeta and went equal with him. So I don't know. Oh, also, Manga Ribrianne. In case you're wondering how strong Manga Ribrianne is, Goku had to go Super Saiyan 3 versus Android 17. Android 18 in the Moro arc is confirmed to be at the same power level as 17. Because Android 18 and 17 were pretty much equal power. And Moro was commenting on how 18 and 17 both had a lot of power. So 18 was actually as strong as 17. Or at least very close to his power. And so with that said, technically, Ribrianne was fighting like almost a Super Saiyan 3 level fighter, if you want to go with that. So it depends. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the manga is, he's stronger than Kid Buu. So I don't know how you want to interpret that. And the reason I know he's stronger than Kid Buu is because Vegeta fought Goku Black. Goku Black's regular Super Saiyan form beat Blue Vegeta. And then Vegeta came back and fought that Super Saiyan, and then Goku Black's regular Super Saiyan beat up Blue Vegeta. So if Super Saiyan Goku Black is as strong as Blue Vegeta, then when Goku Black went Rose, he stacked on another blue multiplier on his already blue tier Super Saiyan. Meaning he pretty much is like a Super Saiyan Blue going Super Saiyan Blue, adding another Super Saiyan Blue multiplier on it. So in other words, because of that big giant gap difference, it depends. That could literally argue that Vegeta was regular Super Saiyan Vegeta is like monstrously strong, monstrously stronger. So I mean, even still, the macrocosm is still multiversal in the manga. This still confirms the same verdict that she would still at least be universe plus below multiverse level. So it depends. I don't know. It really depends on how you want to see it. Let me see here. How powerful is Mario? Mario is about multiverse level, but depending on the iteration of the game you're using. I don't believe all Marios are congruently the same, because I believe there's different parts of the story they take place in. I just do think that Mario overall, though, is always composite. You're always using composite Mario most of the time, because that's just how he is. He's a compository character. But for real, do you think Iron Man is stronger than current DBS Goku with his God Killer armor? Because I think so, since DBS current Goku is weaker than a Celestial. I mean, I don't know how strong the God Killer armor is, so depending on how strong it is, then sure. It just depends. How strong is it? Who has it beaten? And that's the real question. DBS Goku is probably at the best pinnacle comparable to... He's like a step away from Alan Adam in DC Comics, who's at least 8th dimensional, or at least was in the 8th dimensional realm. Goku is at least like low 7th dimensional, probably a little bit higher, depending on how you want to view Zamasu's feat. That would be the best place to put Dragon Ball Super Goku at the moment. So, given that he's mid-complex multiversal, being able to destroy an infinite array of complex multiverses that exist within, that all hold infinite multiverses in them, that all hold infinite universes in them, I think that would answer the question. So it depends. Can he compete with that type of Goku? If he can compete with that level of attack potency, then sure. But keep in mind, Goku's power level is very wonky, because Goku has stamina. If he doesn't have enough stamina, then he can't replicate those feats. Nor can his attack potency replicate that. So it's really hard. I mean, remember, when Beerus and Goku fight, the narrator said it himself. They're fighting with power capable of destroying the universe. So each punch, each kick, all of that was going to destroy that 5th dimensional size macrocosm. So it really depends. I mean, a guy who can casually destroy a 5th dimensional continuum, you know, and we're talking super casual. So, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, Rags, Azure, Grimor could surprisingly consume the dreams of others in order to use the desires when he created a new timeline and gets the true BlazBlue. Interesting. The manga version of her trying to smash. That's a good one. Hey Atari, if the real world is a part of a versus cosmology, does that make them 1A? So it depends. So Carter, here's how it works. The real world in Dragon Ball Heroes is not a part of the Dragon Ball Heroes verse per se, because the way they interpret it is it sees Dragon Ball as fiction. And the creators of that realm exist on a higher plane known as the real world. If the real world characters... Hold on, I'm getting a call. Okie doke, guys. Well, let me just lightning round these questions, and then I got to go. Sadly, I do have to go pick up someone in an emergency situation, but let me go ahead and say this. So, to answer your question, pretty much this. The real world in Dragon Ball Heroes sees the other world as fiction, but the way it's expressed in Dragon Ball Heroes, because we know that the Broly movie, the 4D Broly movie in Universal Studios, because that movie takes place in the real world with us as being people in the author realm, that is why Dragon Ball Heroes, which is in the author realm, is considered to be outerversal, because it's not just a realm that's infinitely higher than the Dragon Ball Heroes verse, it's a realm that's the author realm, because that's where the author exists. And as we know, an author in general can likely add on to more than just general concepts. If they are able to transcend the Dragon Ball verse as itself, that means the dimensions below it can no longer contain them. Rather, it's astral or congruently physical.
So as a result, they automatically would be out-reversal in that context, at least for Dragon Ball Heroes' sake. Sometimes it's not always that case, like in Yumi Neko, the witches see the lower worlds as fiction, but that doesn't necessarily mean that them seeing the lower world as fiction automatically means they can add infinityism on those worlds. They see it as fiction as in just saying, it's just like a comic book to us. Like, it's just, you guys are so low to us, you might as well be fiction. Like, we could write you on paper. Now, in our case, it's the same thing. We consider 2D worlds just a lower concept. That doesn't mean we can add on to the 2D world. So in Dragon Ball Heroes example, it proportionates that they are a higher reversal just due to the way the nature of it is explained or expressed. Let's see here. Itari. All right, let's see here. You can argue base Naruto greater than Kaguya and Fuzumo Moshiki. Yeah, you can argue that actually. Without the Kurama, he ain't that weak. Without the Kurama, he's still really strong. That's why I say he's still planetary either way. Wish that Toriyama explained more about the cosmology of Dragon Ball. I do too. The God Killer armor was able to go toe to toe with the Dark Celestial, which is stronger than regular Celestials. If it could do that, then I would say that he beats. Yes, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, man, it was also great having you guys around. Thank you, everyone who has watched. And I got to go because that person is going to be freezing because it's snowing where I am. So peace out, everyone. I hope you guys have yourself a wonderful day. And thank you guys for watching. This is Atari H&B, and I am signing off. Peace.